Ukraine does not and will not have the kind of money that Russia has, which uses money for war. We have what we need with European help, with the help of other countries. But additional money strictly for Ukrainian production is what is needed. We've now reached an agreement with Trump that he'll grant the licenses. But just imagine, if we'd received them 4 years ago, we'd already be manufacturing Patriots for everyone.
What will happen when the war ends? That is a different matter. And as for the killing, I hope that the killing will stop, and to answer what was, I would say, the dominant topic for us in last night's talks. We talked for a long time. I presented our position to President Zelensky, and I fully understand Ukraine's position on that issue. Ukraine wants to open all clusters as quickly as possible. Ukraine wants rapid membership in the European Union. I told President Zelensky that I understand all of that and that I also understand, of course, that kind of enthusiasm, but that as the President of Serbia and as someone who is a political veteran, I do not see at this moment the possibility, first of all for Serbia. I was not speaking about Ukraine, so, first of all for Serbia, to soon become a member of the European Union, for numerous political reasons. I fully stand behind what I wrote together with the Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama. I think that is also for our region. I told President Zelensky that I think it would be important and good even for Ukraine, Moldova, and other, as they say, Eastern countries, and I think that is the reality. I do not believe, to be quite open, that all Europeans will look favorably even on Ukrainian membership. As you can see, I am speaking about this openly. They always find someone. For us, they will find some Croats, Bulgarians, Dutch, anyone. For the Ukrainians, they will find some others. But I do not see at this moment any possibility of that realistically being put into practice. Regardless of that, I understood all of President Zelensky's hopes. I wish Ukraine all the best and, as far as we are concerned, we as a country will never cause a problem and will never say, first admit us. We started earlier. Don't admit Ukraine. Ukraine will never have such a problem, at least with a small country like Serbia.
When we talk about how to help, money is needed, and it's not enough to just resolve the money issue. That is to say, this is important. All this money also needs to be directed in the right way, so that the use of this money is maximized in Ukraine. Because Ukraine is fighting, and the tools we produce for defense and for the fight are cheaper in Ukraine than in other countries. And that is why we have to fight for every penny here, if I may, and every single day. Something that is not very obvious. But I know this. I see everything and I know. And we need to work on this. Additional money is needed so that the Ukrainian defense industry can produce twice as much, because there are capabilities. This is big money, just huge money. It's billions. Today the president asked me. I shared this with him. We won't talk about this in the media space right now. But nevertheless, Ukraine does not and will not have the kind of money that Russia has, which uses money for war. We have what we need with European help, with the help of other countries. But additional money strictly for Ukrainian production is what is needed. The second story is sanctions. We are grateful for all 21 packages, but this is not enough. We are raising the question, what is most important for Ukraine today to defend itself against ballistics? Yet hundreds, thousands of components of Russian ballistics come from different countries of the world, from almost all continents, including our close partners. These components arrive, which then strike our people and children. Civilians and soldiers die. Therefore, imposing sanctions on Russian weapons, on the supply of these components, and first of all, on Russian energy, is important, because they earn money and spend it on the war. During the war it is important not to let Russia spend hundreds of billions on this war. Besides our European colleagues, I mentioned the Middle East to you, and I'll be frank with you, South Korea and Japan could also have helped. Did they help us during this war with our air defense systems? No, in accordance with their domestic legislation and their constitutions, we did not receive the necessary assistance. The situation in Ukraine is difficult. There was another missile strike last night, ballistic missiles targeting our infrastructure. There were also attack drones. In particular, reactive Shah drones were again targeting our energy facilities and railways. Trains are delayed because there were strikes against civilian enterprises across our regions and throughout the country. Efforts to deal with the aftermath of the strikes are still ongoing, and fires are being extinguished. I received a briefing this morning. Shelling also took place in all communities near the front lines. Who has ballistic missiles and systems? The manufacturer. That's the United States of America, first and foremost. Can they help? We're working on this. Will they provide us with missiles every month? Yes, we have agreements in place. But are these missiles enough? No. I already spoke about this. I'm not giving a specific number, I can't give it to the Russians, and on request of our partners. But there are fewer of these missiles in 2026. In 2025 there were more, I'll tell you honestly, in terms of monthly supplies. We've now reached an agreement with Trump that he'll grant the licenses. But just imagine, if we'd received them 4 years ago, we'd already be manufacturing Patriots for everyone, believe me, and Europe, the parts of Europe that want and would like to have Patriots, anti-ballistic systems and missiles, would already have them all. I'm absolutely certain of that. But right now we're stuck dealing with paperwork. It's not a piece of paper flying through the air, not a paper rocket, it's a real missile that kills people. And that's why, when we say the Americans have to provide them, but the Europeans too, we're working it out with them. The process for some of these licenses is also taking a long time. And that's the truth.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.